Hey everyone, Chef Tom here from President's Choice. When you think of comfort food, what do you think of? When I think of comfort food, I think of spaghetti and meatballs. So today I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe on spaghetti and meatballs. So delicious. Let me show you the ingredients we're using today. We have 2 pounds of ground beef, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a cup of fresh breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of parsley, and a tablespoon and a half of garlic, and of course, some olive oil. So we have 2 eggs, crack those right into our beef, some breadcrumbs, the Parmesan cheese, our parsley, garlic, and then just a splash of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And then a little trick I like to use is a 1/4 cup of warm water. And of course, some fresh cracked pepper and a little bit of salt. And now we get our hands in there. Mix that all in. We want to knead that meat together with the breadcrumbs and the eggs. It's going to help bind these beautiful meatballs together. Okay, now all the ingredients are combined together. Time to make our meatballs. So you don't want to make them too big. What you want to do is just put them in your hand and just roll them just like that. That's a good sized meatball. Typically when I would be making these meatballs, I would use pork, veal, and beef. But in this case, I only had some beef, so we're just making beef meatballs. Okay, we finished our meatballs. And we got about 20 meatballs out of our batch. I've got some oil. It's olive oil. We've got it on high heat, and we're just going to sear these meatballs. Okay, so it's nicely seared on one side. Time to flip. Look at that, nice and golden. You got a nice crust on that. That's beautiful. So now that we've seared our meatballs on both sides, it's time just to put them on a paper towel, kitchen paper towel, and let them soak up some of that fat. And then we can do the next batch. Next thing we want to do is we want to take out the excess fat that we cook the meatballs in. There we go. Put that back on the heat. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to the pan and throw in my onions. Then I'm going to throw in some oregano. So that's about a tablespoon of oregano, half a tablespoon of chili flakes, and the onion, it was about a full-size yellow onion. And then our garlic. So what we're trying to do here is we're going to saute that all up, and we're going to pick up all those flavors from those meatballs, all those little sticky bits. That's where it's going to give us tons of flavor for our sauce. So our onions and garlic are nice and soft. They smell terrific. Now, for me to get all those little bits from the meatballs out, I'm going to add some wine. So I'm going to deglaze the pan. All that means is we're just taking out all those little bits, and that wine is going to cook out. You want to cook that out. That was about a 1/4 cup of red wine. You want to use dry wine. You don't want to use anything too sweet. So you can see that wine has pretty much evaporated. And now we're going to add our tomato puree. We're going to give that a stir. Get that all incorporated. And now simply, we're going to take our meatballs that we seared and we're going to throw them into this beautiful sauce. So our sauce and meatballs have been simmering for about an hour. It's ready to go. And to finish off with some fresh basil. You want to put this in at the end because it's going to give you great aromas. If you put it in too early, it will actually take away from all those aromas from the basil. So mix that all up. That looks good. Our pasta, checking on our pasta. So our pasta is ready to go. So we've taken our pasta, we've strained it. I tossed it in some of our sauce. And now we're just going to put a couple of meatballs on here. A little bit of cheese on top, a little Parmesan. And there we have it. Spaghetti and meatballs, my favorite comfort food. I hope it becomes your favorite comfort food. Keep watching and I'll see you soon.